Hello, Christine here at the Craft Table, coming to you with our weekly update on how I am doing health-wise and what I have worked on this week crochet-wise. So let's just jump into the health report. I lost 0.4 pounds this week by God's grace because I was not stellar in anything. But on the good side, I did get to the gym twice and did my home exercises at home the other 4 days. And today I probably will only do some stretching tonight, and that will complete my week. I have amazingly closed all 3 rings on my iWatch every day this week. So far. Today is yet to be determined. But that's a 7-day streak for me, and so that's pretty exciting. I came close a couple nights, just squeaking in before the stroke of midnight. But I'm glad to be doing that. I know that kind of thing doesn't produce immediate results, but if it becomes a habit, it should produce results because I am moving more, and that is healthy. Also, I wanted to say, I don't remember if I've mentioned this before, but I do notice that I am getting stronger. I notice in little things like bringing in the groceries from the car. I can carry more bags with confidence, less trips back and forth, and just my walking, I feel more stable, going up curbs and things. Yeah, I don't have occasion to do stairs very often, so I'm not sure how I'm doing there, but at least just walking up a curb, I was having a little trouble with that not too long ago, and so I am thankful to be doing that much easier now. So I am seeing results, and even a little bit more definition in my muscles. Maybe I'm the only one that can notice it, but I am definitely seeing that too. So those are all good things, and I am so thankful for that. The weight is just, I want to see leaps and bounds, and that's just not happening. But like I said at the outset of this, I'm a real person with lifelong habits, and this weight has been with me a long time. And so it is fighting to stay, to stay put right where it's at. And I guess it's going to take a stronger effort to get that scale to do some significant moving, which is what I want to see eventually. Okay, so that's the health front, and I didn't do great on my food log as well. I totally skipped 2 days in the middle of the week, and I ate some things that I shouldn't. So again, I guess that's why the scale is not moving as much as I would like it to. In fact, some days I'm just like, thank you, Lord, for your grace, because I don't deserve this for what I ate the day before. So those of you who pray, I covet your prayers, because I'm still trying. This has been a long journey, and it's going to be a long journey, but I'm not giving up. I'm nowhere near giving up, and I will continue to come here before you and tell it like it is, because hopefully we will see change. I don't know what else to say. I'm not giving up. I'm not ready to give up. And if I stop reporting in, I will be that much more tempted to fall back into my own ways and feel like there's no accountability and nobody's watching me, which is a lie in itself, because that's just not true. You know, the Lord's with me 24/7, and he sees the effort I'm putting or not putting forth. And so, yeah, just got to keep pressing on. And I appreciate so much those who have encouraged me, and even my family members who are just urging me on every single day to keep moving. So I will. And I wanted to say something. You know, sometimes I'm reporting bad news and I'm still smiling. I have one of those strange faces that pretty much smiles all the time. And I have been teased about it my whole life. Since I was young, I had nicknames like Dimples, and just people asking why I was smiling at them. It is the natural expression on my face. To frown takes effort for me. So if you see me delivering bad news and I'm smiling, it's not because I'm taking it lightly. Oh my gosh, not in the least. It's just because that's what my face does. And if I wasn't smiling, I might be crying, and I'm certainly not gonna cry over food. I mean, there's an effort being made here, but what I put in my mouth today or yesterday is not the end all, most important thing in my life, okay? But I just wanted to say that in case some of you wonder, what is she laughing at? What is so funny? It's not always that there's something funny. It's just this face of mine, okay? It was funny. I heard today that I was listening to a sermon by Jack Hibbs, and he was talking about Barry Maguire, who is one of his church supporters, and they had a little video with a message from Barry, and he made the comment that Barry's one of these people that is always smiling, and that yes, the smile is real, and yes, it's there all the time. Not only when he's doing a video, but when you talk to him in a normal conversation, he's smiling. And so that's like the second person I've ever heard of who has this problem. And it's not so much a problem, but sometimes people might perceive it a problem if they think you're laughing at them, or they think that you are taking lightly something that they are telling you that is very serious. And that's just not the case. So there you have it. There's two of us. Okay, there are worse problems to have, right? All right, and one other clarification I wanted to make. In my last video, I talked about Dr. Lee Warren and this book he's writing called, well, actually he's already written it. It's coming out in February, and it's called Self-Surgery of the Brain. And he is a neurosurgeon, and he has made this correlation between the workings of the brain and the scriptures that talk about renewing our mind, and how actually changing what we think about makes physical changes in our brain, and in essence rewires your brain to dwell on those positive thoughts, and can affect your life in very positive ways. And so I'm just getting into all of that and excited about it, because I've already seen it work on some occasions where I was able to spot a thought that came into my head that was clearly a lie, one of these automatic thoughts that creep into our head constantly every day. And I caught it, and I said, nope, you're not true. And sometimes if I'm alone, I talk myself out of it. But you take that thought and you just stop it, and you replace it with scripture, with truth. And amazingly, and it has to be God, just gave me the right verse to counteract that lie that was trying to creep into my psyche, in my mind, and take over. Because then those lies, they create reactions, and then the reactions cause more trouble, and lead you down a path that is not constructive. It's a destructive path. So it was amazing when I caught that, and I was able to think of a verse to replace that thought. And in one case, like within hours, I could see clearly that that initial thought had been a total lie and another gift from the Lord. He doesn't always explain why things happen as they do, or why people say the things they do or don't say the things that you want them to say. But in this case, I was able to see clearly that I had been wrong, and had I sat there and nursed that lie and gotten myself into all manner of discontent, yeah, that would not have been good. And so what I wanted to say about Dr. Warren is that I don't believe in name it and claim it. I don't think that you can think a certain thing and it's going to happen. That's not what this is. This is taking the negative things that come into your mind and choosing not to dwell on them, choosing to, as the scripture said, capture those thoughts and reject them and replace them with truth. And that process in itself will, interestingly, affect your brain, your actual brain. So, yeah, so those two things I wanted to mention. Now let's go on to crochet, shall we? I have worked on a few things this week, not the things that I was working on, unfortunately. Well, let's just show you what I did. So first off, I finished, I don't think I showed you the final product here, but this is the little scrubs outfit that I was working on for one of my niece's dolls. She has a doll this size. It's an 18-inch doll. And so I finished the top, and it's got a little, I think the last thing I had to do was put a button on it. So it's got a button up here at the top just to close it up. And she is ready to go. So I put her on my doll so I could take some pictures, and then I will be shipping the outfit off to my niece. But first, I am working on a white Dr. Lab coat. So I started that this week. This is also a pattern by Pamela Barton at Adoring Doll Clothes. So this is how far I've gotten on that. Isn't that cute? So I've got one sleeve done, and I have to do the other sleeve, and I think she's got some stitching that goes along the inside. But very easy pattern, very cute. And I think it also has a hat, a white hat, and another mask. I may not do the mask since I already have the white mask that I made for, I think I dropped it somewhere, that I made for the scrubs. Okay, so that is in progress, and I hope to finish that this week so I can mail the outfits out to them. Next, I made a Santa hat, which I don't have anymore because I started it, finished it, and got it in the mail yesterday to my stepmom. She had asked me to make her one when I was visiting back in July, and I said yes, and then I forgot about it. So I wanted to get that over to her as soon as possible so she could wear it this season if she'd like and take a picture and everything. So I found a great pattern by Pamela Barton again, and I'm so happy that I purchased all of her patterns. She has had a bundle available on Etsy. She had a sale going at some point earlier this year, and I bought all of her patterns. And so it includes all of her existing patterns for the 18-inch dolls, and then she has, excuse me, she has some regular adult patterns and some hats, and she had a Santa hat that was exactly the style that my stepmom was looking for. And so I was happy to find that and to make that. So I will put a picture so you can see what it looks like. And yeah, I was happy to finish that. So one more thing, I started this yesterday, just a day ago. We have a water filter sitting on our countertop, and the filter ran out and we didn't have a new one. So my husband went to buy some water filters and found out that the company had been sold, and there was a new model to replace the model that we had. And so he had to buy a whole new filter, or what do you call it? The little reservoir that holds the water, in addition to filters for it. And the base is a lot longer than the one that we had. And so I had made a little mat to set it on the countertop so that when we slide it back and forth on the counter, it doesn't scratch the counter up. And so it's too big for the existing one, so I just found a big dishcloth for now, but I wanted to make a mat for it exclusively so it will fit perfectly. And I went online on YouTube to the stitch tutorials by Creative Grandma, and sure enough I found a nice tight stitch called the Pebble stitch, and here it is. Isn't that cute? It's just a single crochet followed by this cluster stitch, and the cluster is just 2 yarn overs and then pulling through all of the loops on your hook. And here's the back. The back isn't as bumpy as the front. Here's got the texture, but it's an even texture, so it won't be wobbly or anything. And I need to make this 16 inches long, so I've got the width down, but now I need to finish it because the container is about 16 inches long. So I'm about almost halfway, and I think I'll probably put a border around it, and then I can move on with other projects. But I was so happy to find this stitch tutorial by Creative Grandma and be able to use it for this mat. And I just want to say, if you haven't taken advantage of those stitch tutorials that Creative Grandma has on her website, you really should, or her YouTube channel, because she gives you the free video to show you how to do the stitch, and then she's got a link in every one of the description boxes to a PDF that you can download for free and create your own little library of crochet stitches. And there are it's over 200 of them, probably around 250 of these stitch tutorials that she has done, and I haven't even begun to tap into a fraction of them. I'm sad to say, I just keep getting distracted. I started doing them and then I moved on to something else, and but I really want to continue and take advantage of downloading all of those stitch tutorials, because what an awesome resource that she has put on YouTube for us for free. Just amazing. What a gift. So just wanted to mention that if you don't know about it already. So the yarn I'm using for this little mat is 100% cotton. It's Hobby Lobby's Crafter's Secret. And I'm actually holding 2 strands together because I wanted to make sure it was extra thick. And it looks like I'm gonna need more yarn. I'm just noticing how empty these are getting. I may make it, or I may play a little yarn chicken. But, and then a 5mm hook is recommended with this stitch, or with this yarn, but I went to a 4.5mm, again, to make this as nice and thick as I possibly could. So it's working out. And that is all that I have worked on this week. So little projects. I haven't touched my blankets this week, and so I will be looking forward to getting back to those. And that's it. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you next time. I have to add, since I'm wearing this, I did make my hat and what is this called? Cowl? This is a pattern by Crystal at Bag O' Day. This is her, I'm pretty sure it's her chocolate bonbon beanie. And I made it in 100% cotton. It's 100% cotton combined with, no, I think they're both 100% cotton. I don't remember anymore. It's been so long since I made this. And then I created the cowl to match the hat, just using the same basic pattern that she used on the hat. So, but I enjoy the fact that it's made out of cotton because it's not too warm, and I can use this anytime, and it's perfectly warm for in the house when I'm a little chilled. So, yeah, thank you, Bag O' Day. Okay, see you later.